All right, so a bunch of times I've got some questions or whatnot asked on engine swapping or how to, and I kind of made that slightly sarcastic sit down video where I talked about engine swap. It really is simple, super simple. But to kind of go over it one more time, like a kind of dry run through it, what I do, and I find it pretty easy, and I find it easier than what I've seen a lot of other people do, is pretty straightforward, right? And this is, just from doing a bunch of different swaps and realizing what slows the process down. Okay, so pop your radiator out. As if you're really lazy like I am, you have a tendency to maybe attempting to leave it there, but don't do it because the swap tends to swing a lot when you're putting it in place, and there's a very easy chance for you to spin the swap and hit the fucking radiator. Okay, so take the radiator out. If you have the condenser or whatnot, take that shit out so you have this whole front part clear. Do not mount the T-bracket to the swap. It tends to catch up on the firewall or whatnot. So the whole idea is to get it in place. The mount that you want to try and secure first is usually the transmission side. This side being up higher, it's usually a little easier to get into. So if you got yourself a cherry picker, which you should have, you kind of go in at an angle and then come up, pop it in, and drop it on that side. When you're doing the swap, when you want to put the engine harness on the fucking engine first. Why? Because there's only two spots that the engine harness actually mounts up to the car. Right here and right here. All of the other plugs and connectors go to the fucking engine. And a lot of those are in places underneath the car where it's not easy to reach. So you do not want to be crawling around. Yes, you can do it, and it's not fucking impossible because I've done it a couple of times, and I'm gonna have to do it here. You can reach around and grab and put the plugs and everything everywhere. But if you're not super familiar with putting harnesses on, it's easier to put everything on the swap. And then what you do to keep the harness out of the way is you take the harness from this side, fold it over the intake manifold, take the harness from this side, fold it over the intake manifold, and you just drop it in. And once the swap is in place, you just boom, plug it in, fucking car's wired and ready to go. So yeah, that's pretty much straightforward how I've always done it. Oh, I guess for the exhaust thing, you can, if you're pulling the engine out and you're gonna put it back in, you can always drop it from the manifold here and put it down. Me personally, I just like to, when I'm disconnecting the transmission shift linkage, I just fucking take the two bolts that hold at the bottom, so the exhaust comes out, the header comes out with it. Anyway, that's just how I prefer to do it, especially if I'm not going to go turbo or whatnot, because as soon as you take the header off right there, you lose the gasket. So I would rather lose that circular gasket at the bottom back there than to lose this one up here. That one's going to be way easier to replace. All right, so quick review. You fucking take out the radiator, condenser, whatnot. Do not put the T-bracket. Put the harness on. Fold the harness ends over the intake manifold. Drop it in place. Most likely want to fucking secure the transmission side first, and then this one, and then you put your T-bracket on after it's already in car. All right, guys. So super quick. Hope it's helpful. Eventually, one day, I guess I'll film, actually doing the swap. But yeah, it'll be a while before that happens. And yes, guys, I do seriously want to get back out here and continue working on the car. I'm not going to promise this weekend because I keep promising I'm going to do it for sure, and then I keep doing other things. The main reason why, guys, is because I have a lot of engine projects going on, a lot. And I've got one that I'm finishing, one that I'm probably going to be starting this weekend, and another one right after that, and another one right after that. So when I have choices of work in the warmth and build engines, or come out here and fuck with this car in the cold, the option always falls back to build engines in the warmth. All right, guys. Talk to y'all later. Peace.